Thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time today. I like to send out things to all of our employees and talk about clear communication. That's one of my goals as superintendent, is make sure that if I have information, you have the same information. And I know we're in a time right now where there's a lot of information abounding out there, and I want to make sure that everything you're hearing from me is accurate and clear. There's a lot of anxiety associated with this COVID-19 and the coronavirus. And so I want you to hear that from me. And so that's what we're going to try to accomplish today. One of the things we did, we called a meeting with our principals today at 11 o'clock. And it was to debrief them on a meeting we had yesterday with Walker County Emergency Management. That meeting was for all of us to talk about currently what we're doing. And that's in the middle of or at the end of a flu season. So they wanted to know what we're doing in our buildings and on our buses to make sure we're protecting our students and our employees from anything that's out there. And so we walked through those protocols. And we did that again today with our principals, just to remind them of some of the things that we're doing. And I'll give you an idea of some of those things. We just came out of a flu season, and we did very well with disinfecting and sanitizing our buildings. We do the same thing on a regular basis, not only in the buildings, but also on our buses. We promoted proper hand washing and personal hygiene, how to cough, some of those things that realistically we've been doing for a long time. It was just to reinforce that, or maybe bring that back to the forefront of our thoughts and minds as we were going through a heavy flu season. And if you'll remember, we made it through that flu season with limited disruption of services during that time. And we feel like we're doing those same levels of protocols now, and we'll continue to do that. I want to make sure you know, as you see that happening in your building, or you hear about that happening on the school buses, you know why we're doing that and what we're trying to accomplish. So that was part of the meeting today. We also wanted to ask the principals to help us in the development of what we're calling an extended learning plan in the case of a calendar disruption. This is something we put together so that our students will have clear communication from the school home to the parent, as well as continuing the learning process for our students if there is some type of disruption in service. And think about our year so far this year. We've had snow days, we've had delays for flooding. There's always a variety of things that can happen during the course of the year. So this is good practice for us as well. With the unknowns of what's happening right now around us, we wanted to make sure that we were planning and that we were prepared for anything that was going to happen. So they were helping us create that. And then they're going to come back to school and ask for some of those lead teachers, department heads, to help solidify those plans as we move forward in the next couple of days. I go back to the clear and consistent communication. It's got to be accurate information. And so when I put out my Friday board notes last week, I gave you a link to our website with the COVID-19 as the header, with a plethora of resources there for you to look at. You can get lost in them because there's a lot of things going on there. But specifically, I want to point a few out. We did make a change. We're going to make sure that we have a daily update. All of this information is changing each day, and we want to make sure you have the most accurate information. And then the rest of it you can peruse at your leisure. One thing I want to point out today for all of our employees, our families, you have families as well. There's a home plan on the CDC website. It's a great resource for you to look through about things you can be doing to protect your family, protect yourself, and be prepared in the event something happens in the future. It's a great resource. And again, you can get lost in it because there's a lot of information there, but it's great information. And we rely on CDC, the Department of Public Health, and of course our Department of Education to give us guidance on decisions we're going to be making in the future. And know that any health issue that decision is always made by the Department of Public Health, and we rely on them for additional information, and we'll continue to do that. For our employees, please know, any information that I receive, any updates that I receive, I'm going to turn those right over to you guys because I want you to know everything that I know, because I think when we do that, we're all on the same page, but it eliminates some of the fear associated with the unknowns of what we're facing right now. We're going to continue to do that. We're going to do everything within our power to make sure we take care of our students, our employees, and our families. And we're going to continue to work closely with all of those agencies as we face the unknowns of where we are today. But I will continue to give you this information, and I'll make sure that you have that adequately, accurately, and right there in front of you so that you can make decisions as well. So thank you for letting me have a few minutes of your time. I know we'll be talking again in the future, and check out the website so you can see what's out there now and what's up to date today.